and welcome to the Bot Box. When I looked at the picture of this week's subject, Flippa, it didn't register that the American white box with a wedge at the front was actually armed with two weapons, a flipper at one end and a drum spinner on the other. Just for clarification, Flippa came from Oregon, so hello people in Oregon, sorry. It first showed up Flippa trying to qualify for the third edition of the World Championships at the end of Series 7, where it faced a fellow American bot in Crusher Spartacus 2. Flippa didn't actually move at the start of the fight. Once Spartacus 2 prodded Flippa, it did move a little bit, and the drum was spinning early on, but Spartacus pushed Flippa into the ref bot, then opened the pit, and dumped Flippa in. That was that. Flippa was also in the Annihilator at the end of Series 7, where it faced Flippa Spinner Robo Chicken, which was without its axe, for reasons best known to the team, Horizontal Crusher Can Opener, the reigning Annihilator champion, and three other flippers in U2, Ripper, and Raging Nightmare. Which, just for the clarification, for YouTube subtitles, Knightmare. Think a nightmare but with more knights in shining armour. Flippa actually moved a little bit early on, but ended at P2's target very quickly. YouTube for YouTube subtitles clarifications, that U as in female sheep. Anyway, U2 gave Flippa several flicks. Meanwhile, Robo Chicken had been flipped over and couldn't self-right because they'd taken the self-righter off. Also, Ripper had flipped U2, so it was on top of Flippa and couldn't actually move because the flipper was actually hooked on the arena sidewall. So U2 couldn't move. Flippa couldn't move from underneath U2, but even though the ref bot nudged both of them, Robo Chicken had been done in first, so it was the one that got counted out. So that got Flippa through. However, Flippa was supposed to be going into the second round of the Annihilator. It didn't make it into the arena. Something in Flippa went foot. It would not work. It would not go into the arena, and definitely could not fight. So that was it. It was out by default. Flippa is, as a result, a hard one to judge, as in its 3 fights it barely moved. Like I said, people of Oregon, I am sorry. Now, I found out that an earlier version of Flippa was in the 5th series of the original run of BattleBots, and went out early there as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it never made TV, so this could represent the team's only appearance on TV. However, it was noted that it had an aerial problem. Namely, the aerial was loose, and that might explain their mobility issues. Maybe there was potential. It was heavily armed. I mean, you got the flipper at one end, the drum spinner at the other. There's possibly some destructive potential there. But potential is absolutely no use if your robot can't move. And Flippa kept taking itself out of the equation. And whilst 3 fights there's not many data points there, it's hard to tell what it would have done well against because it didn't move. That's a real shame. Again, Oregon, sorry. So, who's next? Pikey, please be kind. see if next week's robot actually is capable of moving. What have we got here? It's pink. Oh, yes, we have a robot that's capable of moving. Ladies and gentlemen, Dominator 2. Until next week, Callison244, out.